Welcome back to another Medversity Deep Dive.
Mm-hmm.
Today, we're taking a look at the brain
Right.
through the lens of neuroradiology.
Okay.
It's kind of like giving neurosurgeons
Yeah.
a superpower,
Yeah. Yeah.
letting them see inside
Uh-huh.
this really complex organ.
Right.
We've got some pretty cool material to work with.
Oh, yeah.
Journal articles, case studies, all about
Interesting.
how MRI scans are used
Right.
to analyze brain tumors.
It's like being a detective.
Oh.
But instead of fingerprints, we're looking for clues
Yeah.
within the intricate landscape of the brain.
I love that analogy. We're going to break down
Right.
exactly how radiologists use
Okay.
different types of MRI sequences,
Uh-huh.
things like T1, T2 FLR,
Right.
and T1 post-contrast,
Yeah.
to figure out if a tumor is low-grade or high-grade.
The nuances between these sequences
Okay.
are really critical.
Yeah.
They reveal all these different aspects of the tumor's biology, helping guide surgeons towards the most effective treatment plan.
So let's start with the basics.
Okay.
T1 and T2 weighted images.
Right.
What makes them different?
Well,
What am I actually looking at when I see these images?
you can imagine like shining a light through a glass of water
Right.
on a T1 weighted image.
Uh-huh.
The water, or in this case,
Yeah.
the cerebrospinal fluid
Wow.
surrounding the brain,
Okay.
appears dark.
Okay.
But on a T2 weighted image,
Right.
that same fluid
Uh-huh.
lights up brightly.
So it's almost like a
Yeah.
photographic negative.
You could say that.
What causes that flip?
It all comes down to
Huh.
how the hydrogen atoms
Right.
in different tissues respond
Okay.
to the magnetic fields of
Yeah.
the MRI machine.
Yeah.
T1 and T2 measure different aspects of
Yeah.
this response,
Yeah.
resulting in the contrasting
Uh-huh.
appearances of fluids and tissues.
Okay, that's really helpful.
Yeah.
So if a tumor appears dark on T1
Right.
and bright on T2,
Uh-huh.
that's telling us something important, right?
Exactly.
Okay.
That pattern also indicates the
Right.
presence of a tumor.
Okay.
Now let's add another layer.
Okay.
FLIR images.
Right.
Think of them as like a specialized filter.
Okay.
They subtract the signal from CSF,
Right.
allowing us to see the edema,
Okay.
the swelling surrounding a tumor
Yeah.
more clearly.
So it's helping us understand
Right.
how the tumor is affecting
Exactly.
the surrounding brain tissue.
Precisely.
Okay.
And then we have T1 post-contrast images.
Uh-huh.
These are taken after injecting a special dye, a contrast agent that
Oh,
highlights areas
Yeah.
where the blood-brain barrier is compromised.
Okay, so like the blood-brain barrier is like a
Yeah, you can think of it
secure border patrol,
like a secure border patrol.
keeping potentially harmful substances out.
Exactly.
So if this border patrol is breached,
Yeah.
the contrast agent can sneak in.
Exactly. And that can be a significant finding.
Okay.
Areas that light up brightly
Right.
on a T1 post-contrast image
Uh-huh.
often indicate increased vascularity,
Oh,
a greater number of blood vessels,
right.
which can be a characteristic of aggressive tumors.
So we're building up a picture here.
Right.
We've got the tumor itself appearing dark on T1, bright on T2,
Right.
potentially showing edema on VELR.
Yeah.
And then if it lights up
Mhm.
on T1 post-contrast,
Exactly.
that's a red flag.
It suggests the tumor might be high grade,
Okay.
meaning it's more aggressive
Right.
and likely to grow faster.
Okay.
But, of course, a definitive diagnosis
Yeah.
requires a combination of imaging, biopsies,
Right.
and other clinical information.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
It's like putting together pieces of a
Yeah,
puzzle.
exactly.
But speaking of biopsies,
Yeah.
I remember reading about a case where the biopsy results actually
Interesting.
contradicted the MRI findings.
Yeah.
Something called a butterfly glioma.
Ah, yes.
Yeah.
A fascinating case.
Yeah.
That highlights just how important it is
Right.
to interpret MRI findings carefully
Okay.
and in the context of other clinical data. In this case, the MRI showed
Yeah.
a large tumor
Right.
spanning both hemispheres of the brain.
Hence the name butterfly.
Precisely.
Yeah.
The tumor's shape resembled a butterfly
Right.
with its wings spread across the brain.
Yeah.
The imaging suggested
Okay.
a high-grade glioma,
Uh,
but the initial biopsy results
right.
pointed to a low-grade tumor.
Wow, that's a
Yeah,
pretty significant discrepancy.
it is.
How is it even possible?
Well, remember that a biopsy
Great.
only samples a tiny portion of the tumor. In this case, the biopsy needle
Right.
likely missed the most aggressive part of the
Yeah.
tumor,
Yeah.
leading to the misleading initial diagnosis.
So the MRI was giving a
Yeah.
more accurate overall picture.
Exactly. It
Okay.
highlighted the true extent
Oh.
and nature of the tumor,
Uh-huh.
which is crucial for determining the right course of treatment.
That makes me wonder, are there other instances
Absolutely.
where the appearance of a tumor on an MRI can provide clues beyond just whether it's high grade or low grade?
Absolutely. For instance, certain features like ring enhancement or a necrotic area can provide valuable insights. Ring enhancement, where a ring of contrast appears around the tumor, often suggests a very aggressive tumor.
So ring enhancement, despite sounding kind of beautiful, is actually a bad sign.
It can be, What about necrotic area?
What about that?
Necrosis refers to the death of cells. So a necrotic area within a tumor indicates that a portion of the tumor has died, often due to rapid growth outpacing its blood supply. This can also be a sign of a more aggressive tumor.
Wow. It's fascinating.
It is.
How these details on an MRI can reveal so much about a tumor's behavior.
Indeed. And these details are crucial for guiding surgeons during surgery. They help ensure the surgeon takes a biopsy from the most representative area of the tumor.
It's like having a roadmap.
You could say that.
To navigate the brain.
And just as a GPS guides you to your destination, MRI helps guide surgeons to the precise location of the tumor. And informs them about its characteristics, helping them make the most informed decisions during surgery.
So essentially, neuroradiology is playing a vital role in ensuring accurate diagnoses and more effective treatments. It's not just about identifying the tumor. It's about understanding its nature, predicting its behavior, and guiding the surgical and treatment plan. Accurate tumor grading, for example, is critical for determining the appropriate treatment approach and prognosis.
It's like neuroradiology is bridging the gap.
That's a great
between diagnosis and treatment.
Way to put it.
Giving patients the best possible chance.
And as technology advances, we're continually developing more sophisticated imaging techniques, providing even greater insights into the complexities of the brain.
This deep dive has been incredibly illuminating.
That's constantly evolving.
I feel like I've gained a whole new appreciation.
Exciting new discoveries.
For the power of neuroradiology.
And advancements on the horizon.
In the fight against brain tumors.
It certainly is.
And on that note, I think it's time
to leave our listeners with a final thought-provoking question.
If MRI technology is already this powerful, what could the future hold? What new frontiers in imaging are on the horizon that could further revolutionize our understanding and treatment of brain tumors?
That's an excellent question to ponder. Research is constantly pushing the boundaries, exploring things like functional MRI, which allows us to see the brain in action, and advanced imaging techniques that can detect subtle molecular changes within tumors. It's mind-boggling to think about. The possibility. So much we can learn.
Absolutely.
So much we can potentially do to help patients.
And it all starts with understanding the fundamental principles of neuroradiology, the language of these images. Once you grasp that language, a whole new world of insight opens up.
It's like unlocking a secret code, revealing the hidden stories within the brain.
And who knows what other mysteries we'll uncover as technology continues to evolve.
Well, I think we've given our listeners plenty to think about today. Thank you so much for sharing your expertise.
Oh, it's been my pleasure.
And for taking us on this incredible journey through the brain.
I always enjoy diving into the fascinating world of neuroradiology.
And to our listeners, thank you for joining us on this Medvarsity Deep Dive. We hope you found it as lightning as we did.
Absolutely.
Until next time, keep those brains curious.
It's an excellent question to ponder. Research is constantly pushing the boundaries, exploring things like functional MRI, which allows us to see the brain in action, and advanced imaging techniques that can detect subtle molecular changes within tumors.
It's mind-boggling.
It is.
Think about the possibilities. So much we can learn, so much we can potentially do.
Absolutely.
To help patients.
It all starts with understanding the fundamental principles of neuroradiology. The language of these images.
Once you grasp that language, a whole new world of insight opens up.
It's like unlocking a secret code.
Exactly.
Revealing the hidden stories within the brain.
And who knows what other mysteries we'll uncover as technology continues to evolve.
Well, I think we've given our listeners plenty to think about today.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing your expertise.
It's been my pleasure.
And for taking us on this incredible journey through the brain.
I always enjoy diving into this fascinating world of neuroradiology.
And to our listeners, thank you for joining us on this Medvarsity Deep Dive.
Absolutely.
We hope you found it as enlightening as we did.
Yeah.
Until next time, keep those brains curious.